Grandma. Are you ready for Grandma's story time? Put on your glasses, Grandma. And get your story bag, Grandma. Here it is. It's my bag with the purple circles and golden elephants and blue circles and golden elephants and red circles. It's my bag where Peter lives. Are you in there? Let's be quiet. If we're quiet, he likes to come out. He hates it when it's noisy. What are you doing in there? Oh, he's happy to be out. You're happy to see all the friends again? You're waving to them? You are? Oh, you're happy? You're going to see someone special. Ah, Mummy's daddy. Was your mummy a girl one day? And did she have a mummy and daddy? And do you have special names for them? What do you call Mummy's daddy? Grandpa. Yes. Ah. You've got a story about Grandpa. Let's see what it is. It's called Before We Go to Bed. Before we go to bed. There's a Grandpa bear and a baby bear. Ah. Sometimes you go and stay with Grandpa. And does he look after you? Oh, you go and stay. He's got a bed at Grandpa's house just for you. And you can stay there overnight. Oh, that's good. He said he wants to sleep in the bag, and I'm going to read the story now. Is that right? Okay, bye-bye. Put Peter in. Let's see what this book is about. He said it's about a grandpa. It's called Before We Go to Bed by Sue Mongredien and C. Bisco. Before we go to bed, I can see the baby bear with his feet on top of Grandpa's feet. And when Grandpa walks, he walks. I used to love playing that. Do you play that with your daddy or your grandpa? Barney and Grandpa Bear were tramping home together after a busy day. Grandpa's got a bucket of water and a bag, and Barney's carrying a fishing stick and a net and a jar. Has he been catching tadpoles? And there, look, it's getting dark. There's a washing on the line and there's lights on in the house, ready to welcome them home. Barney and Grandpa Bear were tramping home together after a busy day. "What are we going to do next?" Barney asked. "Next?" chuckled Grandpa in surprise. "Next, I think it's bedtime, Barney." Grandpa pulled off Barney's boots with a heave, squelch, plop. "Now let's get you ready for bed," he said. "Not yet, Grandpa," Barney cried. "I always have a giant bowl of porridge before I go to bed. Yummy, scrummy porridge with sticky, licky honey." "Are you sure?" asked Grandpa. "Oh, yes," said Barney. "Come on." Do you have porridge before you go to bed? Barney showed Grandpa what a brilliant porridge maker he was. "And now for some honey," he cheered. But the honey was runny and it went everywhere. "Whoops-a-daisy," giggled Barney. Goodness me. Do you put hundreds and thousands on top of porridge? And do you put a whole jar of honey? Who's going to clean up that mess? Time for bed now, said Grandpa, when Barney's tummy was full. He did eat it. But I always have a big bubbly bath before I go to bed, said Barney. A splishy sploshy bath with my squeezy squirty toys. I suppose you are a rather sticky bear, Grandpa said, as Barney tipped all the bubble bath in with a glug glug loop. Do you put all the bubble bath in, or just a squirt? What's going to happen? Barney splished and sploshed in his lovely bubbly bath. The water went everywhere. Whoops-a-daisy, giggled Barney. Look, he squirted the whale. The whale squirt all over Grandpa. All clean, Grandpa said. It must be bedtime now. But I never go to sleep without a story, Barney said. A spooky scare-bear story with horrible hairy monsters. Is a spooky scare-bear story a good idea before bed? Grandpa wondered. Don't worry, Grandpa, said Barney. It's only a story. It's not real. So Grandpa read the story. It's called Scares for Bears. They look a bit scared, don't they? They've even got the blanket over their heads. Afterwards, Grandpa put the light on again to make them both feel better. Then there can't be any scary things, can there? Maybe we shouldn't go to sleep just yet, he said. I've got a brilliant idea, said Barney. We should bounce on the bed, shall we, Grandpa? You're allowed to bounce on the bed. Or do you have to go out to the trampoline? Grandpa smiled. All right then, he said. First, they did little bear bounces. A boing, a boing, a boing, a boing. Next, they did bigger bear bounces. Boing, boing, boing. And then they did great, big, springy, zingy, boingy bear bounces. Woohoo! Until... What do you think's going to happen? Crash went the bed. Whoops-a-daisy, went Barney and Grandpa. It's broken the leg of the bed and all the toys are falling on the ground. How are they going to fix the bed? Barney watched as Grandpa mended the bed. He's used a saucepan and a book to make it straight. And then he gave a huge stretchy yawn. Sounds to me like it's definitely bedtime, said Grandpa, tucking Barney under the covers. There's just one more thing I need, said Barney sleepily. A super squeezy, squishy, squashy bear hug. Grandpa climbed in with him. And then both bears fell fast asleep until the morning. That's the end of the story. All the things they did before we go to bed. Sometimes Mummy and Daddies have rules, and Grandpas and Grandmas have different rules, don't they? The main thing is that they look after you and keep you safe. And no more jumping on the bed. And maybe a scary story isn't the right thing before bed. There's so many stories. I know Peter's got lots of stories. He brings in different ones all the time. last thing before bed is a bear hug. Do you get a bear hug from your daddy or mummy or grandma or grandpa before you go to sleep? Good night. Come again next time. Bye-bye.